This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. In last session, we discussed about authorization and authentication, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If we created Spring Boot application, it's a web application or REST application. First, we have to finalize Spring Boot application is the web application or REST application. You have any idea about web application or REST application or REST APIs? Which application we call as a web application and which application we call as a REST APIs or REST API?
Spring Boot is a REST application.
REST application. What is the difference between web application and REST API? Who is
Web
the
application
like
means which can access over HTTP protocol. That is nothing but web application.
okay, my question is like who is the sender and who is the receiver in web applications? I mean, who is the client and who is the server? You got my point, right?
Yes, got it.
Yes.
Who is the server here in web application? Who is the client? In REST applications, who is the server and who is the client? I will tell you. Okay, for any applications, we have client and server, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Who is the server in web application? Who is the client? In vice versa, in REST API or in REST APIs, who is the server and who is the client? Okay. In web application, server is the like regular server. Who is the client?
Browser.
Browser is the client. Okay.
Yes.
Client, how it will interact with server?
Through HTTP protocol.
Through HTTP protocol, like www. like URLs. We can say URL.
Yes.
It may be the
Yes.
HTTP or it may be the anything. 90% is the HTTP protocols. For example, client in browser, we are typing like this: www.facebook.com/login. Okay. To the server. What server return to us or return to the browser?
It will bring the login page.
I am asking, I am saying about the web applications. In web applications, client in web browser, we are typing www.facebook.com/login. Okay, this request, with this request, we are hitting to the server. What server it will return? Think carefully until. Like HTML page, it will return, right? When
Yes.
when click on Facebook like this, www.facebook.com, what it will return?
One HTML.
HTML page it will return. Okay, if it is a REST API, who is the client and who is the server? In REST API scenarios, both client and server are the Java applications or any applications. Here there is no browser concept. One applications hit to the another application. by using like HTTP protocols. For example, like we are calling like this, right? In we executed many Spring Boot applications. For example, like this. For example, it is the for localhost colon 8585/emp is the one Spring Boot application, or it's a REST API. Okay. Client application calls server application by using one URL like this, localhost colon 8080/emp. What server written here? In this example, see here,
It will return the response.
it will get, we are getting the response. Is the response is the text or HTML, or which one we are getting as a
Text.
response?
JSON format.
In REST APIs, we are in REST APIs, server returns to client. It will return text or HTML or JSON. Which one it will return? It will return
JSON
JSON,
or text.
JSON or XML format it will return. Now tell me, there is any session concept or there is any HTML concept here?
No.
There is any login pages here like this?
No.
No, right? Only we are hitting server by using the just URLs or by using these URLs only we are hitting the server. Ganesh, are you there?
Oh, okay. I am here. Actually, I was in mute. I did not see that.
Okay,
I'm
no
telling
issue.
some answer. Okay.
Okay. Okay. You got this right? Web application.
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
the web
I-
applications and what is the REST APIs?
Yeah, I got it.
Got it? Now,
Yes.
first we will see
REST application.
REST point of view only, but instead of like URL concept, first we will start with login page. When we are hitting this this URL, for example, I will create one sample sample Spring Boot application without security. Then I will provide the security. Then I will show you what is the security, how we are providing the security by using the form logins, and remaining concepts also I will explain. Okay. Now you differentiate, right? Spring Boot is the web application or REST application?
REST application.
REST
It's
related
a REST
application.
application.
Every Spring Boot application it won't have the like Spring MVC.
Yeah.
If any application have the Spring MVC, we won't call it as a Spring Boot application. Spring Boot application won't have the Spring MVC. You got different. You have different. Like you got different, right? This difference. Spring MVC application is the web application. Spring Boot application is the REST API related applications. From browser, nobody call the REST APIs. One from Angular or REST, we are calling the outside persons calling the Spring Boot applications. In every like company, Spring Boot application along with either Angular applications or React applications is there as a front end. Okay. Okay. Now tell me how we will provide security for Spring Boot applications. First, I will create normal application. Then we will see how we will provide the security for that. First, tell me how we can create the Spring Boot applications. in IDE like Eclipse or My Eclipse, in that, in any IDE, how we can create? Tell me the steps.
File, new,
File, new,
create a
other,
other
then
Spring Starter project.
Spring Starter project. If we, in our application, I don't have Spring Starter, what can I do here? There is any other way like other than this?
Yeah, we can create in, I mean, in the browser we can create, we can import that one to our Eclipse.
By using how we can create here?
Spring IO,
Spring Spring initializer, we can call it as a
Yeah.
Spring initializer. Spring dot
Yes.
start dot spring dot io.
Yeah.
Start dot spring dot io. Like this also we can create. First we have to add that all the dependencies, and we have to select that which language we are using, and projects and Spring Boot versions and a group, artifact ID, name, everything we have to create. And after selecting everything, we have to generate. Then we can import the project. That is the one way. This is the second way. Okay. File, new, other, Spring Starter project. Which all are the mandatory dependencies
Web,
here? Dependent
Spring
starters,
Web,
Spring Web. This is one.
DevTools.
What's the use of DevTools here?
We don't need to compile every time when we change
Okay.
any code. Yeah.
I think these two are enough for now. Okay. In Spring Boot, for authentication, we need one class, the class called Authentication Manager. Okay. We'll see how you get Authentication Manager. Here I am creating only one controller. If I want to tell this is a controller, what annotation I have to add here?
REST controller.
REST controller. Then
Request mapping.
request mapping. What's the purpose of request mapping here?
Like when we are giving that postman, when we are giving the request to fetch request, we are writing that down.
For mapping URL to this
Yeah,
controller.
Hmm.
I am not providing anything here. I am giving just slash public string if I want to add this method as a like get mapping, then which annotation I have to add here?
Get mapping.
Get mapping. Okay. Eight 8080 is already used by another service, I think so. If I want to add this application to another port, which property I have to enable here? Server dot
Server.port.
port. Here I am enabling to 7070, right? Okay. Till now, did I add any Spring Security dependencies or any code for Spring Security?
No.
No. Till now, we didn't add any code for Spring Security. This is a normal Spring Boot application. We'll see. We are able to access every URL or not. Localhost colon 7070. I am able to access root URL, and admin also can access, user also I can access.
Yeah.
Now I am adding the security dependency. I will add start.spring.io dependency. We'll check now. Did we add any configuration in our application other than
No.
dependency? No, we just simply add the dependency. Sorry, we just dependency we added. We added only Spring security dependency. Once when we are adding Spring security dependency, automatically it is our every request or our every URL are secured right now. Without username and password, we can log in or not?
No.
No, without username and password, we cannot log in. Then you may have doubt. What's the username and password right now? We are not providing any configurations. Then what is the username and password?
Yeah.
Okay, here username is the user. When we are running our applications, we got the password like this using generated security password. You have to copy this.
Okay.
And default username is the user and password is this is the password. By using this user and this password, we can log in. See, now we can access admin also, we can access user also, we can access. Now I don't want this default username and password. Then we can provide our username and password also, we can provide. In application.properties, we have to configure username and password like this. Spring dot security dot username Martin Spring dot security dot user dot password pass. See, now we are not finding any password right now. Why? Means we are providing username and password in application.properties. That's why while running we are not getting any default password. Now we will see. Localhost colon not 9090 7070, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are getting some. Okay, see now. Previous username is user, right? Check with the user and password. Bad credentials.
Bad credentials.
What is the username and password right now?
Martin.
Martin and pass.
Pass.
Okay. Martin and pass.
Pass.
Okay. Now we can access user and admin also. Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Till now, we are not providing any configurations, right? This everything is the default behavior. I don't want this default behavior and this username and password. If we are providing only one username and password for every person, it is better approach or not? Tell me, is it
No, Anna.
better approach? No.
Bad approach.
Bad approach. For every user, I have to provide username and password. Like many users we have in our system, like thousands and lakhs also may there in my system. For every user, I have to provide username and password. Like this approach, it's not correct. Okay. For providing security for my API in Spring Boot, I have one class, authentication manager. By using this only, I can provide username and password. Okay. For getting this authentication manager, I have one more class, authentication. Which one? Authentication manager builder. By using this, we can provide the authentication. Okay. For Spring Boot, in Spring Boot, for providing the security, we have one approach. Like first we have to create one class like public class, any class name, my Spring Security, my Spring Boot Security. This class I have to extend by using web security config adapter, configurer adapter. After extending any my class with web security configurer adapter, then in my class I can extend the methods. Like I can extend one method like configure with parameter authentication manager builder. In there we have to write the every code. Okay, we will see this everything in one example. Okay, this continuation part I will explain in the next video. Okay.